welcome back. Welcome on in. Another edition. This is week 6, if I remember correctly, Handicap Sports Podcast. I'm your boy, Jay-Z Sports. And with me, like always, New York Knicks sweatshirt, Dortmund hat, JK, Ronnie Cap, Ronnie Overs from the home. Fellas, how we feeling today? How we doing? How was the Monday? How was your weekend?
Feeling good right now. Everything but Michigan State blowing that game.
Oh my, that was crazy. I looked at my phone and they lost.
That was brutal, but no, everything's good. I got the March Madness itch today. Finally, I've been talking a lot about March Madness today. Probably won't go over that right now, but in a couple of weeks, that's for that. But aside from that, can't complain. Good college basketball. It's good. The golf was exciting. I know you guys don't know much, but Dortmund, my soccer team, they've been hot. But
good.
All good.
Hey, Dad, do you watch any soccer or no?
No, I don't watch any soccer, but I'll tell you, I'm a little rough on coaches, and I've been calling for Izzo's. As a father of a Michigan State alumni, I've been calling for Izzo's head for a few years. The guy's a horrible, must be a good recruiter, horrible game coach. And when you lose a game like that, and you are unable to defend the three, up by 10 with 30 or 40 seconds left, and you lose, that is one thing: coaching. And it's endless with this guy. And but there were a lot of crazy buzzer beaters. Actually, the two best buzzer beaters of the weekend may have been two buzzer beaters that didn't count. Did either of you guys see Embiid?
Embiid, yep, the three-quarter court shot.
I didn't see it.
And then last night, I think there was one.
Hunter Dickinson,
another NBA one that didn't count. I'm trying to think who it could have been. Somebody on the. He just walked right to the locker room because he knew he didn't hit it, but he hit it from three quarters. Same type of thing. I'll think of it as we go. But a lot of wild finishes, college and pro.
Yeah, I was at some bar during the day on Saturday for that Arizona State game.
Oh yeah, another great one.
Place went absolutely bonkers. I wasn't really invested into it, so I didn't really care about it. I wasn't even watching it when it happened. Place went absurd, and I knew there were some other buzzer beaters that happened. It's a crazy day in the basketball world.
There was also Florida State came back on Miami in a crazy way, very similar to, I guess, Michigan State losing to
Iowa.
Was it Iowa?
Yeah.
Iowa, yeah.
Horrible loss. Yep.
I mean, Izzo hasn't really done much.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not going to fire him, but I hope he's out in the next 2 to 3 years. But
he's got to be.
They're currently projected to be a 7 seed from
but they'll probably make the Sweet 16 somehow.
No, they won't. It'll be another Big Ten monster early exit after they put in a ridiculous number of teams. Like they'll put in 10 or 11 teams, and then by the Sweet 16 there'll be 2 teams left. That's what happens every year.
I was just going to say that they'll have enough teams, and they'll have maybe 1 or 2 that make the Sweet 16, and they'll get.
Yeah, I mean, that's the college basketball route. We'll dive way more into college basketball when Selection Sunday comes around the corner. Once we get more into that. But switching gears a little bit in terms of golf, Honda Classic this week. Chris Kirk, winner of the Honda Classic. Congrats to Chris Kirk. I know he's been going through a lot with his sobriety and stuff like that, or before that. So
yeah, good call, Jacob, on that one.
I hit Kirk at 35-1 pre-tournament, so cashed out heavy there, rolling in hot to the API. Did you guys catch so you guys obviously caught the end of that. Tell me why Chris Kirk, his second shot, why not either lay up or if you're going to go for it, Why not aim so far left and aim for the fucking grandstands? You get an easy drop. And that's something that the PGA Tour needs to reconsider, because Rahm got it at the Genesis. Kirk got it again on Saturday, where he went up and down for birdie on 18. It's ridiculous.
It's a bailout.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to revisit that rule, I feel like.
It's really, really bad. And I thought not enough people talked about it with Rahm. I was not nearly as locked into this Honda Classic as I was last week, but it's something that I don't really talk about it much, but it's something I've always thought of. It's ridiculous. Like, some of these guys, they're hitting such wayward shots, and they're benefiting from it from free drops. Like, that's the difference of maybe 2 shots based on a lie that you can get so far out, or a drop that you can take, where usually most of the time when you take a drop in golf, it's not like a perfect drop when they drop it at their knee.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball perfectly, and they're usually getting up and down from these drops, which it's not good. But I don't know. I don't know how to fix it, because obviously you need stands. But yeah, Jacob, when I was talking about that 18th hole, honestly, both guys fucked up.
Cole, I thought he made a massive mistake in regulation. I mean, the guy obviously knows his game better than certainly I do, but you do see a lot of guys putting from where he hit his second shot. He chose to chip. He caught it a little too much. He just caught it heavy, and it almost went off the green, quite frankly, or it did. And then the next one, I will give the guy credit. The balls he had to play that, the shot he played with where you have to hit that wedge perfectly. Like, I think one of the announcers was really describing it. You have to hit that right in the middle of the ball, otherwise it's going to be a bad shot. He had a great shot. He got up and down easily for par, but he's got to leave himself a birdie. I mean, and even in the extra holes, that putt looked very good. I thought he made it. It just lipped out. But the guy, he made a name for himself. He's a big-time winner on all these mini tours. I think that you'll see him again.
Dad, they kept talking about his mom and dad being. I had never heard of Cole being like a PGA Tour player.
Oh, he's not. Dad? He's like
his dad and mom. Like, his dad, I looked at his dad. He won like once on the PGA.
Yeah, he won one tournament. So, I think the mother. Well, it's family, and I think he's. I was listening to golf on Sirius Radio. That announcer Cook. I think he does a lot of senior tour announcing. He kind of grew up with this guy's parents. He knew him pretty well. This guy was very unflappable. I think he was like 40 for 40 at one point inside 10 feet. I mean, that's like Tiger Woods kind of stats. That was pretty impressive. And that course is I played it a few times. I know the Bear Trap. It's a challenging 3 holes, but that course has a lot of bite to it. It's even though they won with a pretty low number, it was that course was a hard course, and they had a lot of good players up on the leaderboard still, and it was a really competitive tournament.
Yeah, what I was going to say, talk about I know we like to talk about these different tournaments like that, but being a guy like Cole, I threw a little live bet on Cole Sunday, so I was pulling for him. Like, it's pretty cool to see his family was very intense. I think it was a couple times. Pretty cool to see. But what I was saying during the tournament was, you get all these other big tournaments on the tour where you get mostly the same, like, top 20, 30 guys in contention for the most part. And on a tournament like this, it's pretty cool to see for a guy like Kirk and Cole. This is life-changing for them. Like, and people were saying, "Oh, I feel bad for Cole." Like, I mean, honestly, second place to that guy in that tournament, that's life-changing for a guy.
Totally.
Chris Kirk is a winner on the PGA Tour, like multiple wins.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially for a guy like Kirk or Cole, winning a tournament like that, you get exemptions. I think you get exemptions the rest of the year, right? Like,
yeah, 2 years.
He finds himself at Augusta. He finds himself at LACC, in Europe. I mean, it's cool to see those guys' names you don't see much. At least I think so.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good for the game.
Yeah, I thought like usually, Dad, like you said regarding PGA National, I actually didn't know you played it before. Historically, that winning number is usually high single digits.
Oh, really?
Played a little differently this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
Well,
wind.
I think the wind was died down a little bit in a couple of the rounds.
Yeah, exactly. The wind died down. They were actually expecting the winds to be pretty severe Sunday. You know, when the leaders were teeing off, but it wasn't there. Also felt like the bear trap didn't really pose much trouble for the players, which it usually does. But I look great tournament. You know, during.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I was going to say, like during the tournament, like you know when they were showing breaks and stuff like that, I was not dialing myself into the live tour into the live.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys were locking into that. I like talk. You like live or you don't live. You know, I see a lot of Twitter people just like bashing live, and next thing you know they're watching live. Like either you love it, you hate it, and just go from there.
Jacob, 1 second. One of your microphones is echoing.
What's up?
One of your microphones is echoing heavily right now.
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, keep going. I just wanted to let you know.
No, you got me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, like, either you like or you hate the Live Tour, if you want to watch it, in the middle of, some PGA Tour event. If you don't want to, that's that, but I wasn't really too much invested into the Live. What about you guys?
Yeah, I watched it literally for about probably less than 2 minutes. I just was curious it's the stupidest thing with that shotgun, and they have the whole thing going. But I will say, it's just to me, it's just. I mean, you have a guy winning it who hasn't won on the PGA. A good guy. Everyone seems to like this guy. Hasn't won the PGA Tour in more than 10 years. All the Europeans that are on the LIV Tour, many of them have never won on the PGA Tour. So you have a couple guys that recently won, probably no more than 5 guys that have probably won the past 5 years. So it's just a bullshit thing. The thing that actually my takeaway from it is it's interesting how poorly the great players are playing in these things. Are they just so not into it that they don't even get themselves up for the tournament? I would think at the level of competition they're at now, if a guy like JT or Scheffler or Rahm teed it up in one of their tournaments, they would absolutely destroy it. And DJ and Reed, these guys are finishing in the middle of the pack. They don't give a shit. They're there for the money grab. Personally, I hope it blows up, and especially if it blows up in Greg Norman's face because he's such a prick. But that's just my personal opinion on the guy. But I just, even if I think John May has said this last week or the week before, even if one of them wins a major, who cares? No one will even remember it. But I just hope that, the more this goes on, the less of those LIV guys will play in the majors because they won't qualify. And that'll just be the price they pay for joining this thing. They'll make a boatload of money. But, if they care about competition, it's going to be thrown in the garbage. So, that's the way I feel about it.
And I hope I'm right. And I've been saying, I hope this translates to majors, because if you're making all this money and you already have everything, your life is set, your kids are set, their kids are set for life, do these guys really have that much drive on a week in, week out basis to practice playing competitive environments? Because the way I look at it, I don't think it's going to translate to majors very well. Because as much as you want to say, oh, Dustin Johnson, they're out there practicing right now. There's no practice like playing on tour events where you're competitive, there's crowds, you're playing for money, and I don't think it will translate. I actually made a bet with one of my friends, even odds. Will Cam Smith win a major in the next 2 years? I have no.
So to follow up on that, do you think a player will win a major this year?
No.
I agree too. I just think there's something about just playing in tour events that just you saw with Kirk and Cole, sometimes when people say oh, this whole thing about pressure, on the PGA Tour late on Sunday, honestly I felt the pressure watching Kirk. Like I felt
the microphone's doing the same thing again, by the way.
Jeez, what the fuck's going on?
So the other thing I'll tell you that's kind of interesting about the Kirk, he had if he wanted to play in the Genesis, he had an invitation to play in it. He guys must be a pretty intense thinker. He chose to pass on it because he says he never played as well there. A lot of things about the course don't work in his favor. Even though it was an elevated event with the big money, he felt very strongly about the Honda, about playing in Palm Beach Gardens and at PGA National, and it just it was really unbelievable how he he made that move to play in a tournament with much less money, and he came out with the chip. God, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. I mean, if you want to be able to qualify for these big ones, if you feel like you have a better than that, it's pretty good logic for a guy like him. So good for him.
Yep.
And, honestly, any PGA Tour player who wins a major, I don't care what major it is, I don't care who's in the field, you got my respect. You should have most golf fans' respect. And
he didn't win a major.
No, I'm saying
any Honda.
I'm saying any tournament on tour.
Pretty good.
No, it's pretty good. Pretty good tournament.
I respect it, and it's a guy whose name you'll remember the rest of the year when he's.
No, I know, 100%, John.
Good for him.
I'm just busting balls.
Yeah, I know, but what you usually do, I'm used to it, so that's why it's bat eyelash.
JK, you got me now?
Yeah, all good.
So what I was saying was just like the difference with the LIV stuff and translating to majors is like the pressure. Like everyone talks about this pressure, like late on Sunday, like. I felt like I literally was feeling the pressure with Kirk and Cole. Like I always feel like, oh, these guys, are paid to do this, but that's the pressure, man. Like that 18-second shot is a very hard shot, and plus that Kirk layup behind the tree. Everyone thought he was done after that. That was a blessing in disguise that he had to go lay up there, and then he put a fucking dart from 100 out, a beautiful sand wedge. That was a gorgeous ball. And after that, I knew I kind of had that in the bag. But Honda was great. I thought.
You're talking about in sudden death.
Sudden death.
Yeah.
Well, that other kid almost did make that putt. That was a good stroke. He just hit it a little firm.
Yeah, my heart was racing during that.
Yeah.
So fun. Big week this week. We're headed over to Arnie's place. We're over at Bay Hill in Orlando, Florida. Dad, you ever play at Bay Hill?
I never played Bay Hill.
You never played Bay Hill?
I know some guys that have played in the API Pro-Am.
Oh, cool.
And they say it's such a class event.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be a tough test like it always is. Even par, maybe a little bit over par is usually a good score day by day. This is our fourth elevated event of the year. Another $20 million purse, around $3.5 million to first place. Those are rough numbers. Firm and fast Bermuda greens. Rough is going to be extra thick this week. Expect winds. Expect the weather to play a major factor this week. We're headlined again by the big three: Rahm, Rory, and Scotty Scheffler. Followed up by scorching hot Max Homa. We got Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas. Your big name guys.
Everyone's there.
Everyone's there. Elevated event. Have you guys been able to look at the betting card this week? Have you made any quick Monday bets? Bets?
I didn't make any. I usually like to wait a little bit, but I looked at it in preparation of today, and I would say the two guys that jump out at me is Thigala and Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick, I'll tell you why. Just looking at the list of most recent winners, it's a very dominated by U.S. Open winners. I was
going to say that name too, actually.
Which one, Fitz?
Yeah, I was going to say that name.
But before you go there, today, I don't know if it's a 1 day or a 2 day, but today there was a monster warm up for all these top 50 players. There's a golf course in Florida right near Jupiter called Seminole. You guys heard of it, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a pro member, pro-am or pro member, whatever. I think it's a pro member. every top name plays in it. It's really if you go online, Google Seminole Member Pro. Like it'll list everyone playing it from JT to every top player, and like the guys that they're paired with. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to see, and that's pretty good. And then you got
I saw Rom Brady and
everyone's in it. It's really unreal.
Yeah.
And I got a nice little invite to Medalist that I'm playing on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be.
You're gonna be down there this week.
I'm gonna be playing Medalist on Thursday.
Why don't you hit the API on my Saturday?
You know what? They didn't invite me, so I'm going to probably wait till I get the invite. But no, I'm only down there for a couple days, getting a little Florida golf for this Northeast guy. But I'm really looking forward to playing Medalist. Maybe I'll run into the Big Cat and Charlie there. You never know.
That'd be a nice foursome. That'd be a great foursome. Maybe you could do a little scramble action. You and Tig. That would be special. But talking about Fitzpatrick, So I was looking at
who was your guy? You said you picked somebody.
So my first click, I saw numbers at him. I know I was looking on Twitter, and people had him at 70-1 earlier today. I got him at 60 as Hideki.
He's a hard course. He's a good hard course player. That's not bad, and he's been playing pretty good.
Yeah,
playing pretty good. He's been kind of having trouble with the putter as of late. But if we look at his approach game, if we look at his tee to green numbers, like he's been gaining in his last 4 events. So if he just putts back to his baseline, he could very well win this event. Master champion. I thought it was too disrespectful not to take.
Where is API in Orlando?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Been seeing a lot of Zalatoris names thrown out there from some people. A lot of
he's very popular.
He's a good
hard player.
Hard course player, absolutely. I'm trying to think who else.
I mean, Rom is probably the guy, but it's like even money to win the damn thing almost. It's insanity.
So Rom is plus 650, Rory's plus 650, and Scotty's plus 900. Those are the top 3 dogs.
That's the top 3. And where's a guy like
by far?
Where's a guy? No, I know. I looked at him. He's got good numbers. What is he like? 40-1 maybe.
So he is
55.
Oh, even better. And what about the other guy I said?
Where do you see 55 at Thigala?
I'm just looking at just the CBS.
DraftKings to Thigala 70.
Okay.
And what about Fitzpatrick? He's probably in the 30s.
I'm seeing 6.
Fitzpatrick is at 35-1.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good tournament. Tiger Woods has won it 7 times. Can you imagine that? That's a career for most guys. He's won this tournament, maybe even more. Could be more than 7. Maybe even 9. He's won this tournament so many times, and it's very interesting how one guy could win a tournament. He won that. I think it's between that and Firestone. It's like 15 wins combined.
It's crazy. I think when he won it, I forgot what year. It was either 2012 or like 2013. He was plus 250 or something like that to win.
Wow.
And he won, obviously. But, yeah.
So what are you looking for, Jacob? You always like to break it down?
Yeah.
Let's hear the breakdown, kid.
So the breakdown for this week at Bay Hill, it's going to be I put a lot of emphasis on driving distance this week. 7,400 yards. It's a very long course. But don't, like I'm saying, don't knock out like kind of those short drivers who are really good long iron players. One that comes to mind is Colin Morikawa. He's just playing great golf lately. Best iron player in the field. People are talking about his putter, being a little weak. He's gained 3 in his last 4 events. But look for approach shots to be so 33% of approach shots this week is going to be from 200 plus yards, and 70% of approach shots are going to be 150 yards plus. So try to dial in on really good long iron players. I would say, obviously putting is important. It's going to be Bermuda, fast and firm greens. We're looking at 12 on the stimp, but around the green play is going to be very big. Green and regulation percentage here is very low. So I would say around the green play is really important. And then try to dial in on guys who play well on tough courses and guys who have played well here in the past. A couple that come to mind: Rory is dominant here. Honestly, Chris Kirk is dominant here. Chris Kirk has a couple top T10 finishes in the past 5 years. But yeah, I'm going to be monitoring weather all week long. Just in regards to my DFS lineups, I might want to stack AM PM waves or PM AM waves. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all. Go ahead, JK.
No, go on, because I was going to piggyback off what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, and then another thing that I'm really looking into, just in terms of modeling and kind of running my models, is par three scoring. There are 4 par 3s at this track, all 200 plus yards. Par three scoring is going to be big, and another big thing I'm looking at is par five scoring. The par fives here are some of the easiest holes at this place. It's got like a over 33% birdie percentage rate. That's why I'm kind of looking into driving distance.
How many par on the course?
Par fives,
Probably 4. You would think Arnie would do a traditional 70, par 72.
Yeah, probably 4. And
I mean, think about Tiger's game. He's always been take advantage of the par fives and let the rest take care of it. So,
right.
It's like a Rahm probably sets up perfectly for Rahm. What about your other boy? Where does Max set up here?
I mean,
is he one of the favorites? Should be, right?
He's like, after the top 3 dogs, it goes like Max and then like Colin and like Will and stuff like that. But
that probably makes sense.
I honestly don't even want to like say if it's a course that fits Max's game, because Max is just firing on all cylinders in all phases of his game. So I don't think it really matters with Max. I think he's going to finish. I honestly think he'll finish T15. I don't think he'll win. I think he'll finish T15. But what's up?
Don't worry about it, kid. You're doing good.
Figured I'd let you know.
Thank you. What is it? Just like, what is it doing?
It's thumping a little bit, but it's not that bad. You're good. We're winding down.
But yeah, JK, do you have anything else?
Yeah. So I always like to look at those those little things that you think about sometimes. And no, it's something it's something I've always thought about in golf tournaments. I think it's overlooked sometimes. I mean, some golf tournaments, I don't want to say luck is involved, because usually if you win a golf tournament, it's your raw skill that wins it. But if we're talking about AM PM waves, especially at a weekend like this, is what I want to talk about. Is you got to really, if you're really like betting like based on like who you think can win, if you can have a good understanding of like what weather is going to be like on Thursday and Friday, like you can possibly find advantages in like a Thursday AM Friday PM or Thursday PM Friday AM wave, because that really, really does make a difference. And I've thought about it before, like watching Thursdays and Fridays, like some guys get absolutely screwed when it's conditions on either side. So I mean, it's to look out for. And something else I want to talk about before we move into any other topics. This is something I've noticed, I think, the last like 3 or 4 events this year. I'm not sure if it's always been like this. Why, even if they start on time in a golf tournament on a Thursday, Friday, it's always the PM group doesn't finish.
That's great.
Do you think it's because of like a daylight savings?
Starting East Coast is particularly, they start too late, and they have a lot of golfers, a lot of groups.
It was
threesomes is slow.
It was the same thing. Same thing at the Genesis. Same thing at the WM. Every single first and second round, even with 0 delays, they're getting delayed. And I don't know. I think it's pretty stupid. And I don't know if it takes like cutting a field down or starting quicker, because they're very focused on the PM wave. So I don't know. It's just something that I've noticed a lot this year, and I don't know why it annoys me, but it does. Probably because I like to bet matchups here and there. So I don't know. It's
how much earlier can they play? Can they tee off? I mean, you're not going to reduce the fields.
I know you're not going to.
Probably comes to the territory.
It makes sense to me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just average Joe sitting on his couch, yelling about this.
Well,
yeah.
I actually, though, I tell you, I actually like when you see the guys rushing to finish.
It is
That's
funny.
funny when they're like, that they don't want to have to come, especially if you're up towards the top of the leaderboard. You don't want to you don't want to have to wake up early sometimes you see them run from 17 green to 18 tee so they can tee off before the horn so they can finish 18, and it's a disadvantage because the greens are beaten up and it's dark, but the advantage is the next day they don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to play one hole. They can go through a normal routine, and it's kind of fun. It's funny when you see them run. You've seen guys like run to the 18th tee while their group hasn't even finished putting out on 17. But that makes a lot of sense. Listen, I never really. It's a good point. I don't know. Hope you're going to get through tonight when that happens, John. Don't. But it's I never really thought about it too much, but it's a valid point. I think once when the days are longer on the East Coast, that will be eliminated. So it's coming up.
And first tee, and now they're just doing first tee all the way through. So
yeah, I think it's stupid to do back nine on the week.
I mean, they almost ran out of daylight. If that tournament, if the Honda had one or two holes, the only thing I think they were going to hope for, they were going to move to 17 maybe to finish it. Maybe I don't know if they have lights on 17, but if there's one hole that can handle some darkness at PGA National, it's probably 17 because they have a little stadium set up in there.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right.
I mean, other than that, big week this week. Arnie's place, API. It's going to be a good one, folks. It's been nice. This was a nice episode. I feel like we ran through a lot of good things. Very constructive. So
transitioning into golf season.
Can't wait.
Into the heart of it. Yeah, March Madness of golf.
Wait. I have one more question for you guys. I probably know your guys' answer, but it's my friends. Me and my friends were debating it, and they told, and I was saying I'll bring it up on the podcast. What would you prefer if you could have only every golf major in a year, or March Madness?
Golf major, not close.
What are you talking about? Have?
Like you can have one or the other. Golf majors.
Golf majors.
All golf majors, or just March Madness?
I'd go for the golf.
What do I want to watch? A bunch of fucking 19-year-old kids miss free throws? Give me a fucking break.
But agree to disagree. It's a good debate.
Well, what did you miss more in 2020?
March Madness.
Right? I think they canceled. Well, they actually ended up.
Yeah.
Everyone figured out a way to. How happy were we watch? I think the Masters was played in November that year. How happy were you to watch that? Mm-hmm. So, March Madness was canceled. I think it was canceled. I don't even remember it. Right? Yeah. Was March Madness canceled? I think so.
It was canceled.
Yeah. March Madness. It's got a special place in my heart and most people's heart.
But the Lakers won a child's championship.
Okay, you see, he's out. He could be out for like several weeks.
Did you see him on the ground? He goes, "It popped. It popped." He's probably lying. He's lying. He's a fucking liar. Give me a fucking break. But I mean, coming up soon. We got the majors coming up soon. Episodes to come. We'll do our majors predictions. So be ready with that soon, folks. And folks, it's been another special episode. Next week, Monday after Monday after Monday, all day long.
Love it.
All right.
Have a great week. See you
You
guys
too.
later.
Good hanging with you boys.
Peace.
Peace.